Welcome back to Chronos Quality. By now, we have established several critical pillars. We defined 5S as a structured project. We built governance. We created sprint rhythm. And we established focused execution cycles. But now, we face a crucial challenge. How do we ensure that execution stays alive? How do we monitor progress without creating bureaucracy? How do we make decisions quickly without losing strategic direction? This is where most organizations fail. Not because they lack meetings, but because their meetings do not drive decisions. Most follow-up meetings are operationally heavy and strategically weak. They focus excessively on task-by-task reviews, long status updates, detailed action lists, endless explanations. And while this may create activity, it rarely creates progress, because information is being reviewed, but decisions are not being accelerated. This is a fundamental shift. A weekly meeting should not exist simply to report what happened. It should exist to decide what happens next. That difference changes everything. Reporting looks backward. Decision-making moves forward. And sustainable improvement requires forward movement. Within the Chronos Quality methodology, the weekly meeting serves as the strategic heartbeat of execution. Its purpose is simple. Review progress. Identify risks. Remove barriers. Adjust priorities. Accelerate decisions. Not to manage every detail, but to maintain strategic control. This is particularly important when leadership is involved. Executives do not need to review every task. They need visibility. They need to understand which cells are progressing, which areas are at risk, where decisions are needed, what obstacles require intervention. This transforms the meeting from operational overload into executive governance. One of the most effective structures is reviewing by operational cell. Instead of discussing dozens of isolated actions, each cell provides overall status, key achievements, major risks, and next critical priorities. This creates strategic clarity, because leadership sees system health, not task noise. Visual management becomes essential here. Each cell can be classified as green, progressing as expected; yellow, attention required; red, immediate intervention needed. This simple model creates instant visibility, and visibility accelerates decision-making. Many organizations overcomplicate governance. Too many indicators, too many slides, too much detail. But complexity often slows decisions. The weekly meeting must simplify reality, without oversimplifying risk. That balance is where governance becomes effective. One of the most important functions of the weekly meeting is removing execution barriers. This is where leadership adds real value. Not by micromanaging, but by resolving conflicts, unlocking resources, clarifying priorities, and reinforcing direction. This protects execution momentum. The weekly meeting also preserves rhythm. Without regular strategic cadence, priorities drift, issues escalate silently, and execution weakens. But with weekly rhythm, progress stays visible, leadership remains engaged, and momentum is protected. This consistency is critical. There is also a cultural effect. When teams know that progress will be reviewed weekly, focus increases, ownership strengthens, and urgency becomes healthier. Not panic-driven urgency, but disciplined accountability. Several errors consistently weaken this process. Too much operational detail. Too little strategic focus. Lack of decision makers. No clear prioritization adjustments. Meetings that generate discussion, but no action. These mistakes turn meetings into bureaucracy. And bureaucracy kills momentum. A strong weekly meeting is structured, visual, time-disciplined, decision-oriented, leadership-supported. It is not longer. It is sharper. And sharp meetings create stronger execution systems. Perhaps most importantly, the weekly meeting protects the project. Because operational environments are dynamic, competing priorities constantly emerge. And without recurring governance, improvement initiatives lose priority. The weekly meeting ensures that does not happen. This is another critical distinction. The weekly meeting is not just monitoring. It is steering. Monitoring observes. Steering directs. And sustainable transformation requires direction. At this point, the methodology becomes fully integrated. The sprint creates execution cycles. The weekly meeting protects execution quality. Together, they create rhythm, adaptability, and strategic continuity. This combination is what transforms isolated improvement into an operational system. Now that execution rhythm and governance are established, the next critical step is understanding how work is selected. Because not everything can be done at once. So how do we decide what matters most? In the next video, we will explore diagnostic logic and backlog construction. How to identify gaps. How to organize priorities. And how to build the foundation for intelligent continuous improvement. Because at the end of the day, meetings do not create results. Decisions do. And the quality of those decisions defines the sustainability of improvement. If you want to transform meetings from operational burden into strategic advantage, subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and continue this series. And let me ask you something. In your organization, do your meetings generate reports? Or real decisions? Share your thoughts in the comments.